I'm here once again with my dad, Professor Tony, who is here to tell us about the ancient art of, literally an ancient civilizational art of Yijing, which is the Book of Changes, a fortune-telling study that was developed thousands of years ago in ancient China. And today he wants to bring up the topic of how Yijing relates to escape rooms, which I am so confused about. So escape rooms, I love escape rooms. They're puzzle rooms where you go in to solve various puzzles to try to get out in time. What on earth does that have to do with Yijing?
If you are in prison, remember last time we talked about the author, King Wen Qin, Jizang.
Right, the author of Yijing. Right, the guy who wrote Yijing almost 3,000 years ago.
In prison, right?
Yeah.
And without anything, just formula in his mind. Last time we also talked about Yijing is about the number and the phenomena. Yeah. Actually, it was not enough. Yijing is also about formula. And if you know some formula and can apply to some of the lost lines, Yijing was the only book that kept by, some of the few books that kept by Emperor Qin in Qin Dynasty. He burned, the famous, remember famous book burner. Qin, and he built the Great Wall of China. Okay. He burned all books, but Yijing he kept.
Right.
But it's a divinity who is harmless.
Okay.
He thinks divinity is harmless. And
so
actually,
at the time, the emperor, who was a bit of a tyrant, it sounds like.
Tyrant, yeah.
And
he burned books.
He went and
all
burned all books.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. There weren't that many books back then. So they burned all the books except for the Book of Changes.
A few. Book of Changes and a few other things. Okay.
Except for a few of these books that he didn't think were going to be problematic. Well, little did he know. So he didn't burn this particular, very important book, the Book of Changes.
But some people managed to get from relics here and there, right?
Right.
And there are actually some books buried in the wall.
There were books buried in walls.
And they abducted.
So these were, so at the time.
That's why we have the book now.
So there was a phase, it sounds like, during the time where the emperor was going around burning everyone's books. But people wanted to preserve this particular Yijing book by putting it into the wall and sealing it up. So
another type of people, they simply memorize the books, right?
Memorize the entire book.
Many scholars memorize it. Therefore, in China, there are two schools of Confucianism.
I can't even memorize it.
One is the school of the original text, and another is a school of words. Okay. It's a Jin Wen Jin, Gu Wen Jin, this ancient school and the modern school. So, what I want to say is, you really don't need the book to study Yijing.
Right.
In the future, will be just now. You mentioned about what we want to talk about, right?
Escape rooms.
Escape. It has something to do with it. But I tell you, if you are imprisoned by COVID for 2 years,
right,
and you are not allowed to use paper, so you have to use your brain, right? If you get the code, the secret codes, you can start to apply the codes and restore the book. This is what my theory had. The book may have been restored by people who use simply as a code, because I studied the Book of Changes myself, right?
So in Yijing, the Book of Changes, Yijing, right now the version as we have it, may not be the original. It could have been rewritten, kind of like the Bible, right? In the sense that it has been rewritten by those who memorized it out of fear of it being found and burned.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And some may be a little bit, but we got some kind of schedules, right? And now after some years, we finally one version accepted by most people.
Yeah.
This is what we call the Book of Changes, right? But there's still some challenges to be done, right?
Okay.
Anyway, that is not our business, because in case one day the book is lost, what happened? There will be formulas, and this formula can build. Some of the words in Yijing interesting. In China, they use a simplified character, right? Number one word of the hexagram is the heaven hexagram. Qian. Qian.
Right.
You know the Qian Kun? Qian and Kun, heaven and earth, right? And the simplified character, the word Qian is written as Gan.
Right, 天干地支, Gan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is really a duplicate, right? I don't know how they handle this. But with the traditional character, it's easier. Qian is Qian, right? But still, Doesn't make sense to argue.
No.
You don't have to argue because
No.
for China scholars, they use simplified words. They may use the traditional word to say it, or may simply just say gan.
So how does this relate to us at all?
Oh, relate to us to say that Yijing was the product of dark room and no words.
Oh. So the original study of Yijing came and was born based on mathematical formulas and concepts because the fact that it was written by somebody who was locked up without paper for years in a literal dark prison cell and locked up. And
this emperor king, the king Yijing, the first king of Zhou dynasty, again, he was we do not know much about his life.
Sure.
Anyway, but let's come back to the formula, okay?
Right.
About formula. Why escape? Because if you were imprisoned for a long time, your every number one thinking is how do I escape?
Yeah, of course.
Therefore, escape is very important for Book of Changes, right? Now, let me come back to the formula, okay? And then at the same time, I want to mention a guy, our friend, Elon Musk.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, of course, our friend Elon Musk.
Why this guy is very interesting? Because he escaped. He wants
escaped.
to escape.
He escaped from where?
To Mars.
He wants to escape. He wants to escape Earth. Right, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
He was tired of L.A.,
Yeah.
Los Angeles,
Poor guy.
and he's moving to Texas. And
Yeah.
after Texas, what's next?
Mars.
Yes.
Yeah.
His name Musk. Mars. So close, right? You know what is Musk? Musk is kind of a perfume.
Like a smell.
Right,
Yeah.
you know
not,
that,
Not
right?
a pleasant one. Yeah. It's musky.
That sounds really messy, right? But he's a nice, handsome boy, right?
He's a nice, handsome boy. Ladies and gentlemen, my dad.
Now, he's,
Elon Musk is a nice, handsome
let me
boy.
tell you, we talk about Facebook.
In a previous episode,
And then we talk about Musk. There's so many similarities.
Between
how they are
Facebook
similar?
and Musk, or between Musk and Yijing?
They create virtual reality differently. Actually, Musk is more involved in creating future virtual reality because of him. He's going to invent cars, invent this, right? He's going to invent, but he's more touch upon real thing, right?
Right.
But Facebook,
his innovations are more focused on the physical.
Facebook just indulges in
the digital.
in digital,
In the virtual.
virtual
Right.
reality, right?
How does this relate to Yijing?
Why? I tell you the formula, okay?
Okay.
Somehow after Confucius, Confucius 10 chapters of his contribution to
Sure.
the Book of Changes.
Yeah.
Right? Hides so many secrets inside. I really enjoy doing even one small secret because you apply to it, it can cure your disease and it can help you build a house.
Sure.
So many secrets in there. I tell you the truth.
Right.
I think Confucius is more interesting than Emperor Zhou, the King Zhou, because his contribution
Well,
was.
I've never even heard of
Okay.
King Zhou until today. So.
No, he is the king who wrote the book.
Right.
Okay, Zhou dynasty, the king who wrote the book,
What book?
Yijing, the book of Yijing,
Wasn't he the guy
the
in
original
jail?
author.
Wasn't he in jail?
Yeah, original author. No, he was free, of course. He became the emperor. He became the king.
Holy crap! Okay, so I didn't know this about the story. So there's the guy who wrote the Yijing was
Built a
in
dynasty,
prison.
800 year long.
We need to slow this down. Was imprisoned by the emperor of his time when he wrote the Yijing book.
Yes.
And then he came out and he became the emperor
The first king,
of the Zhou dynasty.
Zhou dynasty. Yes.
So the book of Yijing, how did I not know this? The book of Yijing, one of the most important pieces of literature in all of ancient Chinese history, was written by an emperor.
That king.
If that is not a good validation that Yijing works, that it can make a guy an emperor, I don't know what is. So, I mean, my assumption is that he used Yijing to help himself become an emperor, because that's...
Apparently, it's even strategy. I tell you, I tell you, these people use
Study
Yijing.
Yijing people, you could become an emperor.
These people built a city that lasts for 800 years and did not crack a brick. A city, the city lasts for 800 years.
Okay.
And you go to Shanghai, you go to China, they will say, no, I will build an ugly, skyscraper, right?
We're gonna get banned in China. We're gonna get banned by Facebook. We're gonna get banned in China.
Or even Beijing, or even.
How does this relate to Elon Musk?
Pretty soon, it will be scraped.
So you're saying Elon Musk is gonna learn Yijing and he's gonna like start.
He doesn't have to. I think he's going to do many funny things. I tell you.
He's a funny guy.
He's going to do many funny things.
Funny guy.
Remember he doesn't live in the house.
He doesn't live in a house?
He sold all his house, right?
I have no idea.
Oh, he just live in a small place, and I believe he probably most of the time that's my dream. He's my brother. I tell you, I want to sleep in his car, and I think the car is big enough.
So to clarify, my dad, because I bought a Tesla. My dad, after seeing the Tesla, has been talking about wanting to buy his own Tesla and sleeping in it because he thought it was really comfortable. And I don't think that's a feasible option.
If Musk has the power of Donald Trump, he's going to scrape all the skyscraper, even in anywhere, you know.
Okay, let's come back to how this relates to Yijing.
Okay.
Because it's fun talking about Elon Musk. He is a funny character to talk about. But
in Han Dynasty, there's a guy called Jin Fang. Sure. That name is a young person, and he built up a different way of divination, different from Confucius' way. Confucius' way is very elaborate. Confucius actually wrote, how do you do divination with the yellow stock and the plan.
So Confucius wrote, how do you do divination?
Using that.
Right, okay, so in China, if you go to certain temples, you'll find that there are these kind of people who still practice what's called divination. And in divination, they literally have
sticks.
I think 64, right?
Yeah.
64 sticks.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you kind of like put them in a bamboo chute, and you shake it like as if you're mixing a drink. And then at the end of it, one of the sticks will pop out. And whatever stick pops out is essentially your fortune. Now, I've always regarded this as a bit of superstition. But you're telling me that...
Chance, of course.
Because it's chance, right?
But chances are sometimes very amazing, I tell you. And Asian people, Japan, Korea, they all do this.
Right, it's a very classical thing. I remember growing up, we would have family members who'd go to temple, and they would pray on everything. Like, will I pass this test? You know, will I get this promotion?
Sure.
You know, and last time
in fact, this guy I mentioned in the Han Dynasty, he built up a new way to save time, and that's the beginning of Chinese divination based on Yijing divination. That's used the formula of 8 chambers.
Oh my gosh.
We call that the formula of 8 chambers.
Okay.
Right. Hexagram is about 8 words, most important words.
That's right.
Heaven, earth.
So a hexagram is one of the core things. If you look at a lot of Chinese art or look at a lot of Chinese literature, you will see this little thing. Go, you know, it would look like a hexagram. And the hexagram actually poses significant cultural symbolism, is my understanding, because it represents the core understanding of time, of literature, of culture, of poetry, of basically everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's mathematically based upon the 64 characters or codes, so to speak, right? Encoded through 10 and 12.
And the formula is based upon 8 chamber.
Right, okay.
Now, to help people understand, I will begin to make an analogy, okay?
Sure.
You build your club, for example, maybe a coffee club.
Okay.
Or a classroom, right?
Or a classroom.
And this is a house.
Sure.
And you have 8 people join you.
Right.
It's a club.
Sure.
So that's hexagram.
Yeah.
And each hexagram, why hexagram called hexagram? Hexagram is about 8.
Right.
But we still call qian gua. Gua actually means hanging.
How does this? I'm a little lost.
You know what?
How does it relate to?
Because each gua,
right,
each hanging, is allowed to has 8 more of himself, of his belongings. So there are 8 different tribes, 8 different groups. Each one has 8 small groups. Put together, it is 64.
Okay.
And that's complete the hexagram, cycle, 64 of the book. The book consists of 64 words, right?
Right, yeah.
Inside, you want to do definition, you have to play mahjong, right?
Sure.
And let me do the analogy now.
Yeah.
Okay, your coffee shop open, I have 6 seats. Now, Yijing is about 6 sticks.
Yeah.
Broken,
Right.
non-broken. Everyone knows that, right?
No, I don't think anyone.
Okay, for example,
I love that you say that. Everyone knows this. So he's talking about, if you take a look at the symbols, okay, of the hexagram, it's 3 or 6 lines.
3, altogether 6.
6 lines.
3 up, 3 low.
Okay, so it's 6 lines, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom.
Yeah. First floor, second floor, yeah.
Right, first floor, second floor. And then they're combinations of either complete lines or like this broken line.
Yes.
And that is how they use to calculate, to symbolize essentially these
Some are
6
completely just, non-broken.
Right.
Some are just completely broken. Some are just broken 1, 2, and some are broken
What does
2.
the symbol mean?
No, it becomes the explanation of that word. Because you see, you can make a variety of 64.
But why these broken, unbroken stuff?
Yin and yang. Now, the seats
So it's like the Morse code. It's like binary code.
The seats itself will have 1 for girl, 1 for men.
Right.
That is regular, right? Yin and yang.
Why? My question is, I already know the words for these things. 天干地支, right? These kind of
But
words.
that word, then you have to go
why
to
the
the book
symbols?
because every word is expressed by its broken, unbroken arrangements. And it shows, for example, Qian is complete heaven. You know why? It's completely unbroken. I will talk about later, okay? Today, don't distract. We have to concentrate on our theme, okay?
Okay.
This broken and unbroken, just summarize what you say.
Okay.
The 64 words are expressed by the way they arrange the six sticks put upon 6 positions.
Sure.
And some are different. Some are here broken, some are not broken. And when you see this broken way, you know what does it mean. It means water. It means lake. It means thunder.
Right.
Okay?
Sure.
Now, bar is 8.
8.
My room is only for 6. So another 2 people outside waiting. When they go here, they push the top guy out.
Right. Yeah.
Now the top guy will say, no, I want to go out. I come back. He will push this guy out. So they create a different formation. And that different formation, actually, you can see it doesn't belong to original club. It belongs to next club. And this kind of change was so interesting, right? Allows you to make definition.
Right.
And the most important is in this, there's a major stick and the corresponding stick. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4. Out of these 6, 1 and 4 become corresponding. And the other correspondee is actually represent what you will face, what your enemy is, who your enemy, what your opponent is, and you facing him.
Right.
And by changing the position, you immediately knows what time will appear next. What happened in the future. Because in the future, there are also lines and everything waiting for you, and you make judgments. That's the answer of why Chinese divination has built this. Now, we have 6. Push, eventually another 2 cannot go to the second floor. They have to go to the 3rd floor.
Okay.
They're pushed out.
I don't understand what that means.
Because we have only 6 seats. These 2 guys have to get out.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Our person is the same. We have another 2 things here. We get out. We call spirits.
Right.
We call spirits.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, we want our spirits, yeah.
Some spirit come back. Some spirit don't. Mars may go out to Mars, but then don't come back. And some people will go back. But go back, you can no more come to your house. right? And I already, if you don't come, go to next door. They have position for you.
Sure.
That creates different formation.
Right.
Can we continue?
Yeah, we can keep going. Yeah, that was 20 minutes, but we'll keep it going. Yeah.
Okay. Now, consider this room is dark room.
Sure.
Everyone goes inside has a chance stay top. But in the Yijing, you don't want you to stay top forever. The top is belonging to the emperor, you know. But there, you have danger of being overthrown, right? So we are talking about mask idea because in our life we always have meta spirits. There are two things around us.
Right.
That's you, but they can come back to your body.
Right.
That's why we have a
Wait. There are always two things around us?
Two.
Two what?
Why two? Two spirits. Because your body cannot contain 6 positions, but your energy is 8. How are you going to deal with the 8 energy?
I have no idea.
Extra.
I don't understand.
That's why people get mad, get angry, and then media depression. Because they cannot contain themselves.
Depression.
That's why Musk is going to Mars.
Because he's depressed?
What?
Because he's depressed?
He?
Because he is depressed?
Now,
No, that's not what you mean.
this two thing, why is two? Because one will come back, another will come back. Some Chinese way of dealing with people who are obsessed or who have problems, will go out and yell his name. Come back, come back. It's called invocation. In Greek mythology, they also.
So if I go out there and I keep tweeting at him to come back, he'll come back.
He will come back, and then this person is cured. You don't need to take take drugs. You don't need to go to a psychologist. You are cured.
Right. Of course.
And people don't know that.
Right.
People don't know part of their spirit is somewhere around in the metaphor.
Right.
Around you.
Sure.
And still looking for going back.
Absolutely.
But the way you lead your life is don't come back. And he doesn't know where to go.
Right.
And another say, bye-bye, I won't come back. Goes away. And this just go forever and then dead.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And that's how we deal. We have extra energy, extra spirits all the time. And Yijing knows that. So they create a platform. Right? These two things are called Guihun and Yuhun. Yu means swimming. Swimming spirits.
Right.
And Guihun is spirit coming back.
Right.
Yijing, very important, these two things. Because if you know how to do this, take care of this, most of the problem are solved, and this guy may come back with money. May come back with good position, because it come back, it change your formation.
Of course.
And this formation has a new meaning, and maybe a delightful meaning rather than a depressing meaning, right? So, invocation in theater, in Greek theater, in Greek mythology, in some of this, even in Shakespeare, you have invocation rituals.
Got it. Okay, so the conclusion of this video.
Okay.
Because we went through a lot. We talked about. We started with escape rooms. We talked about history, but really, what we're talking about is Elon Musk, which is the idea of understanding the core structure of the hexagram in Yijing, and then within it, the connection to invocations, to the point that if, even if somebody's trying to escape from our world as it is, we can invoke them to come back, because that's our base desire, is to leave and depart and go through that change.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And come back. Come back. Great. Oh.